Happy Thanksgiving! Are you even grateful?
Good.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Just One Bite. I'm one of your hosts, Nina at Psychofood.
And I'm Tiff at Take One for the Road.
And it's our Thanksgiving special.
Yay!
I know we've been kind of having like a really wonky schedule for like our podcast, but hopefully you see the change. Our next few episodes are actually going to be hosted like near my area. So get excited.
I know.
Right.
What's funny is that Nina and I, when we first started the podcast, actually in 2023, so even though we launched in 2025, we tried starting it in 2023, and this is where we would film 2.5 years ago.
Yes.
Our very first episodes that we actually never released.
We never released it. Like Tiff had like money pieces in her hair.
Glasses, because I was like about to get LASIK.
Oh my God, yes. What a throwback. So it's been like a really long time since we've been in this like position, but I'm excited. You know, we're bringing it back to the roots before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And
it's nice because it's actually like very fall decor like.
It is, yeah.
More so than my place. So I really like that we're back here, and I love the pink couch. So
yes, I know. I feel like if we had like a spot that was like very permanent that we can do every single time, I feel like this is like
this would
a
be
good
it,
setup.
yeah.
Maybe not this thing though, but I feel like it's okay. But I did bring you guys like a centerpiece, which is just
Very
a basket of
cute.
all my Labubus. Let me bring it to the camera, because I'm grateful for Labubus. But I wanted us to talk about like some of the things that we're like grateful for, and then some of our traditions. And also, sorry, like an update, like my voice is so wrecked. I'm so sorry, guys. Like I have this like really raspy voice at the moment because I'm recovering, and I've been like having all these coughing fits, and I literally have dried out my throat. So it's resulted to this sound. So hopefully
I kind of like it though.
yeah, I know. I'm kind of like Phoebe from like Friends. Remember?
Oh, yes.
She had like, if you guys have seen the sitcom show of Friends, Phoebe's like the blonde girl who lost her voice, and she's like a singer, and she sings in the coffee shop sometimes. And then everyone's like, "Oh my God, your raspy sound is like so much better." But then she was like trying to stay sick, but she couldn't stay sick. So
That's funny.
I know. But yeah, like, what are some like things that you're grateful for this year, or just like whatever?
I always say this, but I'm so grateful just for like friends and family all the time. My friends know how grateful I am for them. They're my second family. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for honestly, it's just like my community. Grateful to have like also like good health and like just be safe for like me, my friends, good health for everybody. Grateful for good food, I guess.
Yes.
Grateful for all the opportunities I think you and I have had this year. Whether it comes to like with like work or just like social media content creation, and just being able to meet new people and experience crazy things, or not crazy things, but just like things we could have only imagined. But like I feel like every year our wildest dreams are like constantly coming true.
Yes.
And for that I'm so grateful, you know.
Yes, I also am kind of in the same boat as you, of just being like grateful for, because I feel like we did have a really good year when it came to like collaborations. Even last year was like a good like set of like collaborations. That's because we had like the Disney trip.
Yeah, we had the
like
Disney trip last year,
Mm-hmm.
and then this year I think we had a lot of really cool opportunities. Just like even just like recently, like you and I going like to your Wendy's collab.
Yeah.
I had like the Adobe Max like collab. Just things that I think when we were younger, because we're so like in their creative era, and like we've always been creatives, I think sometimes it's like I still feel like I'm living like a dream. Like I'm like, pinch me, like wake up is like, it's like kind of too good to be true sometimes, you know?
Yeah, like this year I had the opportunity to like get representation too. So like
let's talk about that. I don't think you've ever really talked about it on the channel.
Yeah, I've really kept that under wraps just because like I think I was trying to figure out my relationship with my like agency. But as you guys might know from like maybe like an acting background or something, and if you have heard, like in the entertainment industry, like an actor usually signs with an agency or like a model, and then they have representation, and that agent or manager will like scout out opportunities and like maybe auditions for like their talent. So think about that concept, but then for like creators. And so the agency that I had signed up with, they are specializing with like creators. And so I was drawn to them because they have a lot of Asian American representation. And I obviously love that part where I'm like, I want there to be more like Asian American creators or just like Asian creators in general. And so they had found me and reached out to me, I think early in like July, or I mean late July or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of like in the moment, or at that time, I was really like overwhelmed with just figuring out my inbox and then all these like opportunities that are coming my way, but I'm missing because I don't have the time to pitch myself. And I just really had a hard time like balancing work and my creator thing, even though like content creation is actually something that I want to do full time. And I can't actualize that if I have like a work schedule that was kind of demanding. So I decided to sign. I had a meeting with this agency, went through like a couple actually meetings just to figure out if it was like a good fit.
Yeah.
And then I think it was a little bit of like a slower start at the beginning because I was like gone, or like the opportunities are a little difficult because usually like these are not difficult, but in the sense that your agent or your manager would be pitching you with a higher rate. And then for me, I just felt like, oh, I don't feel like my content is doing well right now because my engagement, the algorithm sucks.
Great,
my engagement is low. I'm like, do people actually like want to like work with me? And I felt like at the time when I had signed on, I was like, oh, my engagement is like really bad. I mean, like it's still like not as good as it used to be like a couple of years ago. Even right now,
it's across the board for anyone who's been around for a while. I think like they just haven't been pushing our accounts, and I feel I totally understand because I'm the same way. I'm like, it's so hard to even reach 100 likes, which is bizarre to me because 4 years ago, easy like 700 likes, you know.
Yeah, and then like the shares, I can get like a bajillion shares, but not like likes. It's really weird.
It's really weird.
Yeah, so like I think because of that, like I just felt like, oh my god, did I sign at a wrong time? Or I'm like, oh, I don't feel like I'm capable of like getting more opportunities, especially now that I switched. And even my email address has changed too, from before in previous years. But then I think the job of like the manager is really to get you opportunities that are like intentional or like worthwhile. And then like from recently, I had this opportunity to work. So in the Philippines, there's this really big studio called ABS-CBN, and there's only like 3 major like studios or like channels, and it's like GMA or ABS-CBN or whatever. And it's this one's like the main one. So think of it as maybe like this isn't like a good representation, but like it's like a Disney, but in the Philippines. But in the Philippines, they only have like maybe Disney and Netflix as an option, like just like as a sort of example. But so that's kind of like how big it is. And then they got me this opportunity to work with Piola Pascual, who's like a really big like Filipino actor. And I think I mentioned it on the podcast how I had like a tarot reading that I was going to meet a celebrity.
And then you met him.
Yeah, so I think that was in like a couple recent episodes. But then in that aspect, in the relationship to the manager, like that's something that I don't think I would ever have gotten that opportunity, but I know that they have connections with people in the Philippines. So I was like, wow, this is like such a great like experience, and like I would have never imagined I would do something like this. And like it was for their premiere of like a movie, and it's like movies are not in my niche, you know, so it's like, okay, how did you even pitch me for that? But then I think my manager pitched me in a way where it was like, oh, they bring like an LA creator to give like a food to them.
Yeah,
And I was like,
food and also hosting. I don't know if you guys know, like Nina is such a great host and interviewer.
oh my gosh, you guys only see here.
Yeah.
So, like,
like she's just so great at like asking questions, having like a very genuine conversation. So I also think that's probably why your manager pitched you, is because
Yeah, it
you're
could
just
be.
good with talking to people, making people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then the food aspect is just like, oh,
like
your
as
food.
the extra, like to tie it in everything.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I think she just probably like, or my agency just pitched me really well, and I was like, that's something that I'm like really grateful for, because I'm like, I mean, there's nowhere in my content aside from the podcast that you see me actually doing an interview.
Yeah.
Like, but aside from that, I feel like I've been trying to do more content that I like, where it's with friends, more funny content, and sort of not really like full on skits yet, but then like
We should bring that back. I feel like
I
you
think
and
it's like a
I
thing.
used to, I mean,
Oh my gosh.
with our Disney stuff, but we
Yes.
haven't really done that much this year.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
next year.
yeah, next year is like a thing. Yeah, so that's like one thing I'm grateful for, because those are like, I think my content is shifting in a way that I've wanted to for a long time, where it's away from food. And I think that's also a reason why we started this podcast, because we wanted the opportunity to branch out a little bit more. And I feel like even for you too, you've been branching out a bit more. I mean, the Adobe Max was like pretty,
I know,
like,
it was great. I feel like, I mean, I don't really use too many Adobe products, and I'm not like a graphic designer by any means. I don't know how to use Photoshop or anything, but just being exposed to that world, having this experience where I could network with other creatives or just learn more about Adobe products was very inspiring. And just being able to create with their products at the conference and make like tangible things, like the iPhone like wallet, MagSafe wallets, and just like designing shirts. And I was like, because usually a ticket to that is like $2,000, unless you know
it's
you
really
work
expensive.
at a company that can like sponsor you. In no like world would I ever be able to like attend something like that.
Yeah.
So I just feel very grateful. I mean,
What was something that you learned from that conference?
I feel like just like not to be afraid to create. Like there's so many people out there, like I don't know, even putting myself on the internet can be scary too, right?
Yeah.
And then like I'm obviously like I'm not experienced when it comes to graphic design or any of these things, so I know I'm very lacking in those skills. But knowing that like even though like what I'm putting out is not to any, like it will never reach any levels of like the professional designers and people who do this for a living and people who are really great at it. It's just like not being afraid to still put like my creative designs out there, even though they're not great. But it's just like just learning how to like use some of the products was really cool. And just learning about the products, because there's so many Adobe products I wasn't even aware. There's like Adobe Express, you know, there's like Photoshop, there's this that I had no idea. And then learning about like how AI has been integrated into this. AI has been pushed really hard, and I think at this conference they pushed AI very hard. Like now they have Adobe Firefly, and like
I saw that.
yeah, and it was really cool. It's like things I don't really learn about to my day to day, you know, because I also don't work in this field full time. So I feel like sometimes I'm at a disadvantage because I don't maybe know necessarily what the trends are, what's going on, because I'm so detached from that in my full-time job. So a lot of the things I do creatively for social media has always been like trial and error, or just like what I see on TikTok, or like what I learn from you. You're like my little like
I'm a mini like
resource. Yeah, you're just like my little encyclopedia kind of, where it's like you teach me so much, you know. And for that I'm also very grateful. But yeah, I just feel like we've had so many cool things come our way this year. I mean, like, okay, so our camera today, so we usually stack it on like boxes, and today it's stacked on 2 of our Canva boxes.
Yes, because we had this like really viral video, which I didn't really think it was gonna go like viral.
It went
on our
mega viral.
on our like podcast Instagram page, where I was using Canva to create our intro video. So the intro video that you saw at the beginning is all made by Canva. I put that on Canva and then just created like a video. And then it was like such a really like simple video. It wasn't even like a trend. It was just like me like working, panning to what I was doing on Canva, panning to myself again, and then going back. and then it was like with a text overlay, and then it just went like super uber viral, like, and I think that was like contribution as to why our channel did really well at the beginning. And Canva had been kind of staying tuned with us, and then they're like, oh, like here is like our opportunity to go to the, I think it was like a Canva like world tour or
They're
something.
having a little world tour.
They had
right
like a
now.
couple. They had another
Yeah.
one earlier this year, and then it was like a virtual one.
Yeah.
And then this is like, I guess, another world tour that they're doing. But yeah, we have a box that they sent us, and then we're gonna do an unboxing. Yeah, but we'll probably do that in another like short form content. So you'll probably see that on our channel before this episode comes out. But yeah, and another thing, like what you were talking about, like opportunities, like conferences, I was like thinking about, oh yeah, I went to like Anime Expo this year,
Yeah.
and I went to Comic Con this year, which was like two things that were like
on your bucket list.
yeah, and I also got free tickets to both of them, and then and for me and my boyfriend, and I was like, wow, I would have never expected myself to like I mean, obviously it's something that I wanted to do and I wanted to implement in my content, like stuff that wasn't just food, because I'm actually like a really big like anime fan, and so was my boyfriend, and I got him into anime.
Yeah.
So like it was really fun to go to Anime Expo, and then now we want to go like next year too. Yeah, so it was like those little things too, like have been like adding up as things that I've like always wanted to do. So I think also now that I have the flexibility with the manager, and then sort of work has been a little bit like more tame.
Yeah.
But then the idea and actualization about me wanting to be a full-time creator is like a little bit closer,
It's
but
slowly like coming
yeah.
together, right? Because
Mhm.
it's like you achieved the next step, which was like to get a manager and
Yeah.
representation, and now they're bringing you all these opportunities where you have more exposure to a wider audience. You get to do like even greater things that are outside like of your food niche, which is what you wanted. And you know, I'm just so proud of you, Nina.
Oh no, I'm
Like,
proud
I'm
of you
always
too.
rooting for you,
Mhm.
and you are just like the best person I know, and you deserve all the like. I just hope all your dreams come true, because you're
Yeah.
just so deserving and you work so hard.
Mm.
And I like, you know, I hope you know how grateful I am for you and for our
I'm
friendship.
grateful for you too.
Yeah, I
like,
feel like you're like my soulmate.
Yes.
And every time, you know, you do great things, I just want to cheer you on, because I see big things for you, and I'm so grateful for you, and you do so much for other people.
Aw.
And I just hope you know that, because I know
Aw,
like,
thank
you
you.
know, people sometimes like take you for granted, or they like mistreat you, and like I just hope you know like you are so loved and so supported. And yeah.
Oh no, that's so sweet. Oh no, I mean the same goes for you. Like I'm always like, I'm so grateful for like our relationship, and I really think like the podcast has really brought us together in a way that I think we've already been like close before, but then it just brought us like on such a like deeper like level that I'm so grateful that I'm like, wow, we really like went the extra mile that I have never like reached with like other people. And I think like the realization too about like how similar we are is just so crazy to me, because it's like, wow, I didn't realize that I'm like, I can be fully comfortable in myself, and not just with like, I think the only other person that I'm like really like fully authentically myself is probably like my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then like, and you are the also the other person, like that's literally
Yeah.
like two people, like, and I don't think I ever realized I could reach like this level with like someone. And so I'm really grateful that, because Tiff is such a kind person, and she's so like bubbly, and I think she's someone that is like my inspiration, and she really brought me out of like kind of like a dark place, which I don't think I've really like divulged to like on the podcast. But I was going through like a really like difficult time like at the beginning of the year, and like Tiff is someone that I really like. We were already working with each other on the podcast, but like the deeper sense of like my mental health was like something that I don't like try to talk about with like most people. And then I like had opened up to Tiff, and I never would have thought I would open up to her. Hold on, I also see like this. Not, yeah, and then I just never thought that I would be able to like express myself. And she is someone who was so warm and calming, and also someone who was just like supporting me but not like pushing me, like in the sense of like forcing me to like do anything. And then
Yeah.
I think because of her warmth and her like just gentle like nature just really brought me out of my shell. And Tiff is someone who's very like social too, and I feel like as a friend, like I feel like people should be so grateful to have you in your life, because you make time for people, like you really care for to listen to everyone, to really like hear them and give them the support that they need, and actually the way that they need without like imposing your belief or anything.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I really appreciate, because you're someone who's so open. And I'm like, it's just so rare for people to like see someone who's like really like open and just like not like judgy, you know.
Mhm.
And I think for her, she's just someone who really brought me out of my shell and remembered a part of me that was like when I was younger too, where like you can be friends to everyone and that's like okay. And
Yeah.
it's okay to like be like excited about little things, or like um and then I think we both put intention into the ways that we're doing things, like
Yeah.
even as simple as like putting on like a brown shirt, like you know,
Yeah,
like
for
she's
Thanksgiving
like the only
stuff.
one that I feel like obviously I think Tiff is like a better dresser than I am.
No.
Yeah. But I think you're very fashionable, more fashionable than I
you.
am. But then like it's the idea that we're both like the same, where we, even if it's something small, like we're going to like a Thanksgiving party, which we aren't right now, but like
But we'll still like make an occasion out of it, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
even the little things we celebrate, and we should, like you said, like I feel like the world, there's so much negativity, and I think when it comes to me and Nina's relationship, like it's a very positive one.
Yeah.
And we just try to bring positivity into everything we do.
Yeah.
And I also think that's why like our relationship is so strong. And I think that's also why like when we put out content, you really see our friendship and our relationship, like what you see is what like how it is in real life. And I think that's probably why, you know, people like, you know, like watching us, or like they're always saying like, oh, you guys are like the dynamic duo, but it's
Yeah.
because like we truly enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
And like even in our hardest times, we are always there for each other. And yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like because even like what you were saying, like on and off camera, I feel like we're pretty much the same. And I think like I don't have like anything to hide in the sense of like my personality, but then I mean, for us, like we can also relate on like a deeper level. That's not just all for like all like the happiness, you know.
Yeah.
Because I think something that I notice now as a struggle is like for you and me, like I think you and I would probably try to prioritize like our happiness and in our peace. And I think like I realize most people in this world, like they don't care about that. Like they think like being happy is like kind of like a weakness almost.
Yes.
And they think that like, oh, you shouldn't be like positive all the time, like it, like you need to sit into reality. And I'm just like, okay, it's not that we don't realize reality, it's just like we would want to be like happy, and your reality can't be like happiness.
Yeah.
And I think because we both think in that way, like it's comforting knowing that someone shares that same belief, like okay, like how can you change the situation into a positive, and then how can you like still get a reality check but still being in like trying to be in a good mood afterwards.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think because, you know, we were never trained for like the effects of social media, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because social media is constantly changing. It was so new. And I think because Nina and I kind of started around the same time, and we got closer and we grew together, and we've been trying new things together with our content, or just like networking and making new friends, and like we've had to navigate this kind of together. And like in the, you know, we talk about how grateful we are for the great opportunities. I'm also grateful for like, you know, the hard times too, because I think it not only strengthened our relationship, but I think we grew stronger as people.
Oh, for sure.
And you know, like you said, like there's always going to be like people who are like hating on us. There's going to be a lot of negativity in the world, and I think in the beginning it was hard for us to, I guess, deal with that because it was so new to us.
Yeah, like how would you like handle like people giving you like fat comments, you know?
Fat
like,
comments, or like
just
calling
like
you nasty things on the internet. And I think, you know, as much as like I have really great loving like a great loving support system, most of my friends don't do content, you know. And I think because Nina does content, she can actually relate because she's experienced it. So that's something that we've had to kind of like we lean on each other for, because no one can fully understand it because they've never been in our shoes.
Yeah. I think in the sense of like what we're surrounded by and our emotional intelligence, we're probably like the same about it, because like it's sometimes like hard when like if you're stuck in a rut, and it's not like social media isn't for everyone, so I can see how it could be like a rut for people who like they get these comments or they don't understand like, oh, like this person said this, but then you have to really take yourself out of the situation for you to just like realize it. And I think Tiff is like someone who's really great at like giving perspective and like giving just like not making you feel like alone in that sense. And like social media can be like obviously it's like out there and it's like for the public, but then it can also be like feeling lonely at the same time, because you're like one against the world almost with your content. But I think because we both thrive off of each other creatively, like that's something that I'm like grateful for, because I really found like inspiration to like go out, honestly. And I'm a pretty like extroverted person, and that's something that I really lost like in the recent years. And then with Tiff, like she like inspired me in a way to like keep going out, and then like even if it's scary to like go to a place that you're not familiar with, or like go to
even
like a
an
place
event by yourself.
by yourself. Or, and then you don't know anyone, like that's pretty
that's
scary.
like a nightmare for most people. I mean, even for me it's scary, but it's like, you know, this is how we grow as people, as like not just like this is how we grow, and we also grow as content creators. It's just by like leaning into the discomfort. That's what I found to be like very like a great learning opportunity for us.
So I'm really like grateful for like our friendship, because it just like continually like it inspires me. And then I think like because we have like that support for each other, it makes me like feel a bit more like encouraged to like do content. Even if it's like days that we might not want to do content, like I feel like you and I, or you, I mean you're especially like pumping out like content, like especially for short form content, and then like making it easier for us, and then like us doing this podcast is like a different thing that I'm really grateful that we like embarked on.
I know. I just feel like there's a good balance in our relationship too. Like some days one of us has to do more, some days the other has to do more, but it's like it's never like a transactional like, oh, if you do this you have to do this. Like our relationship is not transactional, and I think that's also why I'm so grateful, because a lot of times I find like growing up, people see like they view relationships and friendships as transactional, like, and I just don't believe in that, because there are days where like someone's gonna have to carry the team more, and then in the future someone's gonna have to carry the team a little more as well, like you know, that's just life. It's never gonna be like you can't just be like, oh, you did this, or like I did this so you have to do this. Like it's not realistic. But at the end of the day, like if you're on the same page about like how much you care for one another, and you're both putting in effort, I think that's what really matters. And I think that's also why I'm so grateful for me and Nina's friendship and relationship, because it's never felt transactional, and it's like sometimes someone has to carry a little more weight because the other person is super busy. Like even for this podcast, like I told you guys, I do not know how to edit like long form content or do like graphic design. Nina does all of our thumbnails. You know, I don't know how to do that, and for that I'm like always so grateful for Nina. You know,
I mean, I know, I think now with your experience like,
my 3-day conference.
No, but I mean like it's like I mean we use Tiff's like apartment for like for our podcast, and she like pulls the weight when it comes to like supporting like us like in the tangible things. Like all of this is like behind the scenes, but like Tiff is very good at like creating like the ideas, or just like even like creating like a space for us to like host ideas or just like talk and store our equipment, you know, like so I'm grateful for her. But like I'd love to talk more about the transactional stuff too, like about like friendships, because I think that's something that I realized about Tiff too, where I'm just like, okay, like I guess I didn't need to like the idea about I have to do something in order to get something in return. Like that's a really weird concept, because it doesn't need to be that way.
It doesn't. Like I do things because I care about someone without the expectation that they're gonna do. Like, I brought us matcha today.
Yeah, she just because.
And I just because like I was like, we're gonna have a long day. We need some fuel. We're gonna be skipping lunch to record these podcasts. I'm gonna pick it up, and like I know Nina's been really exhausted lately,
Yeah.
and she has a lot on her plate.
Yeah,
This will make her
literally.
day. Like,
Yeah,
or
no.
swallow something.
Yes.
I bring the matcha. I do not expect her to ever like to buy me matcha in return. But
Yeah.
some friends, they expect that.
They're like, oh, because I did that, like, oh, I did this, and
like
I did 7 good things, and
yeah, like
it's
they need
crazy.
to like match it, and it's like, no, like
Mm-hmm.
see, that's when like it's just like, is that actually like a true friendship or relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like, it shouldn't be transactional. It should be because
Yeah.
you truly care about someone, or you love someone, and you want to like make their day or make them happy, or like
Yeah.
make their life a little bit easier that day.
It's something like it's such a simple concept, but I like completely like, not that I treat every relationship as transactional, but it's like something that I realize I'm like, oh yeah, like I guess people shouldn't be expecting like a transaction from me. And like Tiff is like someone who just like gives and gives. And like there was like a day, remember, it was like the last time we filmed our podcast, and
The
then
charcuterie.
oh my god, like I had such a busy day the last time that was that the last
Yeah,
podcast
that was the
shoot.
last podcast
So
shoot.
like I was coming from like a photo shoot. I had to like make this charcuterie board for like a Halloween party, and then we had to film our podcast episode, and I needed to edit the Piola Pascual
Yes.
video. So I had to do that all on one day.
And her shoot ran over by like 2 hours.
Yeah, because I was late to my shoot, and in addition, the shoot lasted longer. And I was like, oh my god, Tiff, like I don't think we even filmed like another podcast episode. We filmed like only one.
Yeah.
But then it was like our Halloween special, which funny enough we had to post a little bit later.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It
but
happens.
then yeah, and then but then I was running so behind on everything, and I was just telling Tiff, not because I was like complaining, but I was just like, oh my god, I have like this and this to do that I need to like hustle. And then Tiff was like, what can I do for you to help relieve like something off of your load, off your plate today? And then she went out to buy me the stuff I needed for my charcuterie board. And then she was like, do you need she's like, I have a lash appointment at like 4 or something, like do you want to just stay in my apartment? And then I was like, to finish my video after we filmed the podcast, and I was like, yes. And then like it's funny because when I was editing the video, I was like, she came back, and I was like, wait, it felt like you were only gone for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I got that video like already finished, but it was just crazy. So I'm really grateful because she just really like lightened my load for that day. But that's the idea about like that act of kindness, where like as friends, like you don't need to expect something like, oh, I did this thing for them. It's because I genuinely know that she wanted to, and she's not like, obviously like I would give you the world, but you're also not expecting me to give you the world either.
And it's just like, I just feel like that's how all friendships and relationships should be. But maybe that's just like, I mean, I know everyone is very different. So, but for at least us, that works for us. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's something you guys have been thinking about too. Like if you're sitting in there and like reflecting on your friendships and your relationships, I think this is a great time, especially during the holidays and during Thanksgiving, when you're like thinking about the things you're grateful for. It's a great time of reflection.
Oh, for sure.
And I feel like that's helped me with, just like how I deal through things, or like I reevaluate my friendships and relationships every year. I think, when I was younger, I always just wanted everyone to like me. I wanted to be friends with everybody.
Same, yeah,
right?
no, I was
We
like
don't
a
wanna
people
piss
pleaser.
Anyone off? We're still people pleasers. But
I'm
I think
literally,
we
yeah.
have a little bit more boundaries now. But I think as you get older, you have to realize like you can't prioritize everybody. So prioritize the people who prioritize you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then even like that expectation, like what you were saying earlier, like not everyone's gonna give you 100% every time that they see you,
and that's okay. Like people have their own lives, they have their own relationships. People are busy working.
Yeah, it's just that understanding that like I think we both are like, we are the way that we're friends, we're already authentically ourselves. So like when we're friends with people, we're not like we're not cheating the relationship in a
Yeah.
sense, or we're not cheating out the friendship. And I
Yeah.
mean that meaning like, we're not making it less of a friendship because based on like the effort that we're
Yeah,
giving
like
each other
I
at that
just,
time.
if I only see you once a month, it does not mean I love you any less. And I think
Yeah.
my friends and I have that mutual understanding,
Yes.
because I have like childhood best friends who I've known since I was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love them to death. Does that mean I don't like we love each other any less because now it's not convenient for us to see each other because we live so far away?
Yeah.
No, like I still love them just as much. And when I do see them, it's always a great time. We leave
Mm-hmm.
off like as if nothing has changed. It just feels
Yeah.
like it feels almost as if we see each other every day. And then now with
Mm-hmm.
technology is so great. We can FaceTime each other
Mm-hmm.
and like still maintain like that great relationship over like social media
Yes.
or like FaceTime, text, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I
but
was
yeah.
telling my boyfriend like, cause I think for him he sees it a little different which is completely okay too, like with friendships, where he's like, well, if they're not giving like any effort, then I'm not gonna give effort back. But then I think we've kind of gotten to like a middle-ish where I'm like, you can give people a certain percentage of effort, but just because you're giving someone like 20% isn't just like a weak 20%. It's just 20% with intention,
Yeah.
where I'm like, you make like what you're saying, like, oh, even if you see them once a month, you make that once a month count.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, I think even for like our Disney friends as a great example,
Yeah.
they we only see them like kind of like once a month or once
Yeah,
every
every
2 months.
Yeah.
And then I feel like our relationship has gotten like especially like so close
Yeah.
since that time. And I mean, once a month is pretty like that's pretty like not generous
Yes.
in the way that like
It is, especially as you get older, you
Mhm.
start to realize like people have like their relationship, people have families now. Like
Yeah.
it's different when you're younger, you're in high school and you're college, you see people every day because you have to or because of the convenience because they live down the street from you. But
Yeah.
in reality, like as you're a working adult, like people are busy. People
Yeah.
have their own lives and that is okay. If I do not see you like 5 times a week anymore, like we did in college, that is okay because
Yeah.
with distance and like, but it's like it doesn't mean you still can't maintain a close relationship.
Mhm.
And I kind of understand where JD is coming from, where it's like if people don't put in the effort, like why should I?
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, yes, very true. Like
Mhm.
if that person never reaches out or like they flake every time you guys make plans,
Yeah.
totally understand why you wouldn't want to put any effort towards that relationship
Yeah.
because they are clearly not putting any effort.
Yeah.
So
And
in that
mhm.
scenario, very understandable.
Yeah, and in his like eyes too, like the way that he presents himself to the world, he's always giving like, I'm giving you my 100%, and then if he sees that person's not returning or accepting his 100%, he's kind of like, okay, so is it because like you don't like me, or is it because like you don't want to, like what's up? And it's like, I get that because people are hiding kind of sometimes behind a mask. So for people who are maybe like you and me and like my boyfriend, where we're giving and showing like our 100%, and if it's not like accepted, it's kind of like weird, where it's like, oh, like, okay, I'm presenting myself in like in a real way.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Like our 100, like someone's 100% and our 100% is very different. And
yeah.
I've actually had to learn that through some of my introverted friends, which is so great because I'm so extroverted. I can have a stacked schedule and be seeing multiple groups of friends every single day and be fine. But for some other people, their social battery is not the same. Like,
Yeah.
we're wired differently, and that's okay. And I've had to realize, like, like for me, I can meet new people every single day. That's fine. For other people, that's a lot. It's gonna drain them.
Yeah.
So their 100% is not our 100%. It's very, very different. And that's something I've had to learn too, where it's like navigating those friendships. It's like at the end of the day, I care about them, so I want to make sure that they still feel comfortable and realize, like, just because, like, I'll give you an example, right? I was meeting with 2 of my friends recently, and I was like, last minute, I happened to be with my boyfriend. We were driving up from San Diego up to like had to drive up to LA, and then I would have to drive back down to Long Beach to meet up my friends. And I was like, what if I just bring my boyfriend and you guys can meet him for the first time, you know? And then I have one extroverted friend and one introverted friend, and the extroverted friend was like, yes, of course, like bring him. And then my introverted friend was like, oh, actually, like I'm not feeling like meeting someone new today. It's gonna like take a lot out of me. Is it okay if we like save this for a different time, or also we can just like I can just like not come today and like you know, like they're trying to be accommodating, which I understand, but then for me it was like, oh no, like I had to learn like, oh, like this could be a lot for someone who's not mentally prepared for like meeting someone new, and like they just want to be with people that they're really comfortable with. And so like like that's okay, right? I think if I was younger, I wouldn't be able to really like, if I was in high school, I wouldn't understand that, because I'd be like, what do you mean you don't want to meet my boyfriend? Like, is it because you don't like him, or like is it like
are you already setting it up for like
yeah,
that you're trying not to like him?
exactly. But now that I'm older, I'm like, oh no, like people's social boundaries are different, and that's totally okay. And I was like, oh no, it's okay, like I don't have to bring him, you know? It's just like I was just like suggesting, but if it's, you know, if it's too much for you, like I'm not gonna do that to you, you know?
Yeah. Social boundary is like such a important thing that I think I've realized, because I've someone who was so like a social butterfly like when I was in school, and then over the years I've become less and less like social. Like I could definitely like thrive off of like other people around me, but then I also need time to recoup and be by myself, which is something that I never like valued when I was younger. But I completely understand where your friend is coming from, and I appreciate when people are so blatant with their boundaries, because that's completely okay to like say. And you know, a true friend would be understanding.
Exactly.
Like, okay, yeah, I accept you for who you are. And that's another thing of like friendships, like for us, because we accept people for how they are. But in that sense, you're also still saying like, I appreciate you wanting to have this interaction, like maybe with your boyfriend. But I think for me, like they're probably also thinking like, I want that interaction to be like worthwhile maybe next time when I'm fully in my recharged in my energy. So that's something that I could really respect. And if you respect your friends, you would like be okay that they do that.
Yes. And I think, you know, it comes with age too, I think. And it just comes with learning and like experiencing, you know, navigating different types of friendships to get to this place that we are at today. So, you know, if that's something you guys are going through, some of your relationships or your friendships, maybe it's something to like reflect and think about.
Like one of my friends, like Chris, I'll bring up a little bit, but I was feeling like really like overwhelmed like yesterday. This was literally yesterday. And then I texted my boyfriend, I texted Tiff, but then my boyfriend wasn't responding in the moment. And then Tiff, she was just telling me like to breathe, but then I was talking to another friend, because I was like, okay, I could tell that I'm getting really like anxious, but I want to continue talking about like what we were talking about was getting me a little anxious. And so I could tell, and I was outside with like doing a work day with my other friends. And then I was like, is it okay if we can put this conversation on pause, and then maybe continue it at another time, because I'm feeling like a little like overwhelmed. And she was like, no worries, that's okay, like do what you gotta do, like don't think about it like too hard. And she wasn't
so great.
and she wasn't so like upset at me for like wanting to pause the conversation.
And she was being a good friend by like providing you with some information that, you know, maybe you would have been blindsided with later in the future. So she was trying to set you up for success.
And I appreciate that she was like, I think it was just probably because I've been feeling a little like under the weather, and then it might not have been like a good time because I was tired and I was definitely like
stressed already from a lot of other things going on. So but you know, like that's what like, and see, like being able to see that, like I'm so glad you have like other great relationships and friendships with those kinds of people, because at the end of the day, like they're looking out for you, and then also respecting your boundaries and realizing like, you know, like it's okay to, like, to pause a conversation and return to it later.
I've talked with my boyfriend about like being a little bit difficult when it comes to showcasing my negative emotions. So like for me, if I could like just be positive all the time, like that would be great. But then it's also like
Yeah.
hard to like live in bliss.
It
But
is, and I think social media is always going to be like a highlight reel. It, you know, and it's like sometimes you don't want to put the negative things onto social media because also like you'll get haters that way because people are like, why are you like airing out your dirty laundry, or
yeah,
like, you know, and it's like it's a weird, it's a weird thing because it's
yeah,
like obviously I would want to be authentic, and like if I'm going through a breakup, do I want to cry on camera about it to you guys? I
yeah,
don't know. You know, it's
yeah.
hard because it's like
You
I
don't have
want
to.
to. Yeah, I don't have to. Like I could just talk about it with my friends, and I think most people on the internet, if I were to put it out there, there's gonna be a side where they're like they can relate because they've been in that position and they understand like creative expression and things like that. There's gonna be the other half of the internet that's like, why are you doing this? This is embarrassing. Like keep it to yourself. You know.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. I feel like we've been talking a lot about like friendships, which I love kind of like talking about. Um, and if you're someone who's like listening to this and you're like, I feel like this episode we kind of just like went off, and I
It
actually
had
really
a
like the one
journey
we
of its own. We
yeah
came in thinking we just talk about things
like
we're
thank
grateful,
grateful for
and then
yeah.
Thanksgiving traditions, and now we
Yeah,
didn't
we
even
just
get
talked about
to
friends.
that.
I know, but I would love to like maybe talk about like how can people like be grateful even if they have struggles with their friendships or like with their family and stuff. And I know I asked that question, but I haven't answered.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, I need a couple minutes.
Because like you know sometimes it could be very like hard and difficult when like you can't even find the appreciation when people are being like crappy towards you or having an attitude with you. So how can you really find the gratefulness in that scenario? And you know like sometimes like I'll try to turn the flip or like the switch in my mind where like you know those people like as much as they're giving me attitude or giving me a hard time, I appreciate that they're showing me like raw emotion and they're showing me expression, or if they're really like your friend, they're giving you like an emotion that's not just bliss. And then another thing too where I'm like I appreciate that they're giving me their honest opinion feedback, and I appreciate that they're also probably telling me this because they feel safe to tell me their thoughts or their
Yeah.
opinions. Like as much as it's hard to like hear if they're very like straightforward or maybe they could have phrased things better, like there are people who could just talk behind your back, but then there are people who will talk to you face forward, and that's something to like be grateful for. And like also too like if you're struggling with like oh where can I find like the good in my schedule for like there's so much going on, like sometimes I'll switch it where I'm like you know I'm grateful that I have so many opportunities that I could live out each day and that I have like a schedule, and I appreciate that I have like a plan. And if it's really hard for you to really see that as like good, I feel I would strongly encourage you to still find like thankfulness and gratefulness, because even as something so small as like I'm thankful to have a calendar. You know, sometimes you kind of need that to remind you to be grateful, because if you're just living in this like hole or shallows of like negativity, like oh my god the world is ending, or like um things are just so shit right now and I can't pull myself out, like if you continually stay in that spiral, it's not helping you either.
Yeah, because you're just gonna end up feeling negative, always being negative, and then that negativity transfers to other people in a sense where
Yeah.
it's like now you're projecting your negativity onto someone else, and it affects other people too, not just you.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'm saying this because I'm seeing it firsthand with like my own experiences with some like things that my friends are going through, where it's like hurt people, you know. But if you can try to find like one thing you're grateful for every day and just try to focus on the positive. I'm not saying like, okay, so my ex used to give me shit. He'd be like, you have toxic positivity. Because
Yeah,
you always,
yeah.
like, no, I am like very well aware of things that like when things are, you know, not going great, I can like I can say like, yeah, I'm not okay, you know? But I also want to try to focus on things that are going good in my life, because that'll take me out of that like negative rut,
Mm-hmm.
black hole. Because if you're
Yeah.
constantly surrounding yourself in that, it comes out in like the worst ways possible.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
And sometimes
yeah.
like the awareness that people don't even realize that their negative feelings are really spilling over to everyone else that they're
Yeah.
interacting to.
Yeah.
The awareness, sometimes people don't even have that. So like
Yeah.
sometimes like if you really want to give yourself respect, try not to let it bleed into other people and let it like go unaware, like unaware.
And I think that's something too, like how can we be grateful? What I like to do is I think I always put myself in other people's shoes. And I think that's what you've noticed with me is like I try to have different perspectives
Yeah.
about every situation, even if it's like so trivial. Like I will try to put myself in another person's shoes, because I think over the years I've learned like people will not be able to understand a situation because they have not truly lived it.
Yeah.
And they haven't experienced it, so they cannot understand it. And so for me, it's like I try to put myself in another person's shoes. Maybe I don't understand their situation because I haven't truly lived it, but I can at least try to empathize and try to like ask these questions, like, you know, yeah, they're like giving me attitude, put myself in the other person's perspective, like shoes, like maybe they had a really bad day, you
Yeah.
know, and that's why they're acting that way, you know. And it's like even the littlest things. And so it's like, you know, I can still try to like be kind, because, you know, not every day is gonna like we're not gonna wake up every day feeling like happy and
Yeah.
joyful. Like it's not realistic. But I think just putting myself, like flipping the script, seeing things from a different point of view has also helped me figure out like, or just how it's allowed me to be more grateful for the things that I do have in my life. And also it helps me move with like intention and kindness towards other people, because I'm just trying to be like very present and also try to see like where they're coming from, even if I haven't lived it myself, and I will not fully ever 100% understand maybe what they're going through, but I can at least actively listen and try to put myself in their shoes and try to empathize and just try to be there for them. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about how like it's about my friend. It's about whoever it is I'm trying to have like a relationship with. Because everyone's different, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes like the understanding of someone else is all you really need, because you don't have to like accept and agree to everything that they're coming from, but to understand them is sometimes all that most people just need, because they just want to like be heard and they want to be seen. You don't have to agree with them, but you can still hear someone without agreeing with them. And then just the act of like making that effort to like understand, I think like people don't realize like that's effort and that's enough. Because like if you are like, no, I don't understand, I don't get it, that's just gonna make people only remember that you just didn't want to try, or you didn't want to give. But if someone's like not agreeing with you, but they're like, okay, like I hear you, I understand you, but I don't agree, like at least the feeling that you leave off with is that, okay, like we might not agree, but it's okay that we,
like, I'm not dismissing you, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I
Yes.
still support like you. I might be not support like your decision, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make me not like
want to like continue like so
Yeah.
I think that's just like something that like people can like remember when they're having like difficult times, like understanding people, and then just find like the good in everything. But yeah, I think this like season, that's just something to like remember about.
Just being grateful. And lastly, I want to say I feel like me and Nina probably are thinking the same, but like we are so grateful for you guys.
Yes.
Like from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Like if you're tuning in every week, or just like occasionally, or even just like engaging with our social media posts, like if you supported us in any shape or form, like thank you so much. We are so grateful for you guys, because without you guys we would not be able to do the things we get to do every single day, and like achieve our dreams, and like even just like like a lot of work and energy goes into these podcasts, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, by no means we're getting like many views, but even just like the small amount of views we do get gets us so
Yeah.
excited and encourages us to like keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to thank you for like all of your support.
Yes, and let's finish off the year really strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, these next few episodes probably gonna be here or just like these episodes. But
Yeah.
I think like when the next year comes, like we might be making some changes, like in a good way. But we want to make like our podcast very like just solid information that's worthwhile for you guys, and just like an establishment of more like consistency. So we're excited to show you like what we have like later in the year. But yeah, thanks for like tuning in, and hopefully have a great Thanksgiving.
Eat a lot for us.
Yes, eat a lot. Hopefully you have many Friendsgivings and potluck
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Enjoy your time off with your friends and your family. And I guess we will see you in the next episode.
Yeah.
You could do it.
You can find us like we have episodes every week. If you missed an episode, go back to whatever recent episodes you haven't seen, because
Yeah.
I think like we might be like producing a bunch of episodes that are so like random. So just stay tuned on what we have on our channel, and then you can follow us at Just One Bite Pod on Instagram and TikTok. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.